Doctor Who is about to return to our screens with an episode set in my home city of Sheffield. I once did an episode about that. You can find that if you click on the card in the top corner. Now, there was something missing from that episode, and that is that there's a scene in the Scream of the Shalka set in Sheffield, except you don't find that out in the it was never broadcast. The webcast version, it's mentioned in the novelisation. So essentially, that's one non-canonical appearance of Sheffield, and one of them trying to get there and failing. So this will be the first proper Sheffield episode, which is quite exciting. One of the interesting things that came out of that clip that's been released of the Doctor and his two new companions on a train is that they're police officers who work for Hallamshire Police. Now, this is a fictional police force. The police force that covers that area, and in fact the whole of South Yorkshire, is, strangely enough, South Yorkshire Police. Why do I bring that up? Well, when I was first at secondary school, that's age 11 upwards for those who aren't British, South Yorkshire Police came to visit the school and told us that we could help them by appearing in identification parades. So providing the other 8 people in a lineup of 9 with the suspect. And there was all this stuff about civic duty and stuff. And then they said, why should you help us? And revealed that they were going to pay us a tenner every time we got called to go to the police station. So, needless to say, there was a clamour of kids queuing up in a particular room where they were going to sign us all up that lunchtime. I dutifully signed up. I didn't really expect anything of it. And within a few weeks, I got my first call to appear in an ID parade for South Yorkshire Police. That first parade was actually cancelled by the time I got there, as were many others that I attended, but you still got paid if that happened. And over the years of my secondary schooling, so over those 7 years, I must have got paid somewhere in the region of about 100 quid by the police for appearing in these identity parades. There's one parade in particular that I remember hoping would finish on time so I could leg it from the police station across town to the cinema to watch the Fellowship of the Ring, and I made it just as the trailers were ending. One of the parades that I remember taking part in, now we were on the opposite side of a piece of mirror glass, so we couldn't see any of the witnesses. I also was hampered by the fact that I had to take my glasses off because suspects didn't tend to have glasses. So I was standing there kind of half blind, staring into a reflection of myself and trying to listen to what the police and the witnesses were saying on the other side of the screen. And this one line particularly sticks in my head, which was, on whatever the date last, are any of these people in this lineup the person you saw jumping out of a wheelie bin? And we just all had to stand there in the line and not laugh. Bringing it back to Doctor Who, as I've said, I spent some of my money definitely on going to the cinema once. I don't remember what I spent any of the rest of it on, but I can't imagine that I didn't spend at least some of it on Doctor Who stuff. And being Sheffield, that means Galaxy 4, which is a brilliant Doctor Who related shop, somewhere between my house and my school. Run by Gary and Andy, I believe the names of the guys were. Probably still are. I haven't been to Galaxy 4 for years. But that was the place I used to go and buy Doctor Who magazine every month. It was the place where I would pick up new videos now and again, Target books, that kind of thing. I particularly remember one day going in and having some money and wanting to buy a video, and whoever was in that day, I forget which of you it was, if you're watching. Can't imagine that you are, but if you are, any Galaxy 4 people watching, and I was like, oh, Planet of Evil, haven't seen that one. Do you recommend it? It's all right. I bought it, quite enjoyed it. So I'm quite looking forward to new Doctor Who set in my home city. Looking forward to seeing what they do with it. We'll have to ignore all the inaccuracies. I mean, they've already changed the name of the police. I mean, I assume that there is a reason that they've named the police force differently. I will be intrigued as to what that is. I mean, there may be rules. Andrew Smith, if you're watching, are there rules about using real police forces in TV? Because there seems to be a lot of fictional police forces in TV. And no doubt I'll play the game of that's in Sheffield, that's in Cardiff, that's in Sheffield, that's in Cardiff, that's a set as I'm watching. But I'm really looking forward to it. And if I can persuade my wife to join me again, we may have some commentary on it for you next week.